Hey, I'm ChristopherJMUA and welcome back to my channel. Unless you've never been here, of course, then welcome. I'm so glad you've stopped by. Today is an amazing day because today we are reviewing the Wet n Wild Dewy Foundation, among many other things. This was actually just going to be a review for this foundation, but now we've expanded. I might even call this a full face of new drugstore makeup. Something like that, maybe. Because we're also trying the new Hydrating e.l.f. Concealer, the new Wet n Wild Hydrating Primer Serum, the new Wet n Wild Water Drop Primer, the new e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer, the Revolution Satin Matte Powder Foundation, and these three new Wet n Wild products, which are the Breakup Proof Waterproof Retractable Gel Liner in Blackest Black, the Breakup Proof Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner, and this one's not new, actually. This is just the Wet n Wild Retractable Brow Pencil. This one is in the shade Medium Brown. And I've been gathering these to pair all of these products with this Dewy foundation. This is really the main focus because I love the original Wet n Wild foundation. I never really minded the scent, but a bunch of people really did not like the scent because they said it smelled like paint. But either way, we're gonna try this foundation and see how amazing or not it is. So if you want to see that and see what all of these products are like, how they perform, how they go on the face, and what the full face in the end actually looks like, then stay exactly where you are, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and keep on watching. Okay, first things first, we are going to prime. Now, I purposely chose priming products that would pore fill and add luminosity, as well as adding hydration. Since this is more of a serum, I can use this more as a skincare type product, and since this is an actual primer, or so it says, this will be the primer that goes over that. So I feel like we're set up for the priming. So let's go ahead and start with the Wet n Wild Hydrating Primer Serum. I got this from Ulta for $7.99, and it says on Ulta's website that the Wet n Wild Prime Focus Primer Serum is a lightweight, ultra hydrating, water-based serum that preps, primers, and refines skin for longer lasting makeup application. Formulated with skin nourishing ingredients including rose water, camellia lead extract, and green tea extracts that moisturize and smooth the skin, the silky creamy texture creates the perfect canvas for a smooth, even complexion so that foundation glides on effortlessly for a luminous, flawless finish. The key benefits say that it blurs and softens imperfections, leaves skin feeling soft and hydrated without a greasy residue, refines skin for flawless and longer lasting makeup application, and that it's lightweight and ultra hydrating. Now, I didn't realize that this had any pore filling properties. It looks very liquidy, so I wouldn't have guessed that it was. I'm gonna shake it up and see if perhaps it becomes thicker, because that would explain the possibility of it being a little more pore filling. Well, it comes in a dropper. I don't know. We're gonna use it anyway. Okay, it's very cold. It is actually sort of thick. Not a lot, not like the pore perfecting primer thick, but it's thicker than I thought it would be, and it doesn't feel like an oil. It really, I would say it feels like a hyaluronic acid serum. Just that wet, quick dry type feeling. I definitely feel tacky and refreshed. It feels clean. Now let's check out the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer. This one was only $8, also from Ulta, and the description on Ulta's website says, e.l.f.'s best-selling primer has gone luminous. The e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer delivers a soft, radiant base for your makeup application, infused with hyaluronic acid and collagen to help plump and hydrate the skin. The velvety texture glides effortlessly over skin, smoothing over imperfections for a poreless effect and the ultimate grip on makeup. Oh, then it says which putty primer is perfect for you. Luminous Putty Primer is perfect for those who want a radiant, glowing complexion. Poreless Putty Primer is perfect for those who want a poreless, flawless finish. And then Matte Putty Primer is perfect for those who want a shine-free matte complexion. Cool! I'm glad that it gives like the little tips on there so you kind of know before you order, if you're gonna order, which one's best for you. I lean dry with my skin, so I'm pretty much always going to pick the hydrating or luminous thing. The only thing that I don't like whenever it comes to luminous products is glitter. In my opinion, glitter doesn't give me luminosity, it gives me a glittery face. If I want glitter on my face, I'll just use glitter on my face. Now, this looks like the exact same component that the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer comes in, the regular one. So now, let's open it. I don't smell anything. Just gonna take my nail into it and scrape a little bit up onto my nail, just like I always do. And now we apply. I always start with my nose with pore filling products because I have pores on my nose and they are just about the largest on my face aside from right here. Those are also very large. So we're gonna start building right here and right here. I'm realizing now that that was quite a bit of primer, probably way too much, but that's okay because I don't want pores. At all. They need to be hidden for forever. This almost seems like it's a little more wet than the standard e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. Granted, that could just be the luminosity that it claims to have rather than it actually being wet. It just seems like it. It's odd because this almost has a sort of yellow tint, kind of like a banana powder would. The standard Poreless Putty Primer has a pink tint, and I can kind of see that after I apply it. Now, I can actually tell that this primer has a yellow tint. I can see the yellow tint on my skin. It's not too crazy, but I can tell where it is. I do also have some luminosity. There's a little bit more reflect on my skin than what I had before, and even more than what I have on the left side. Oh yeah, you can tell on camera. Wow, you can really tell on camera. You can see that the reflect from this softbox is all down here. Wow. Okay, well it works. And I don't see a bunch of little particles of glitter. Wait, yes I do. I see a lot of little particles of glitter, but they're so small that they're not super obvious. Like, I can actually deal with it because they're small enough that it doesn't bother me. It's not so obvious that it bothers me. Well, cool. I'm okay with that. For someone that has dry skin normally, daily, this looks really nice. Like, I could be okay looking like this every day. I really am enjoying the luminosity that it's bringing to the skin. I just hope that it stays there throughout applying the foundation. But before we move on, it's time to apply the Wet n Wild Water Drop Primer in the scent Coconut. This was $5.99, $6 for this. And I also got it from Ulta, and the description on Ulta's website says, slip on Wet n Wild's lightweight water-based PhotoFocus water drop primer to get this party started. Introducing a lightweight water-based formula that transforms from a cream to liquid texture, providing a soft, focused finish with comfortable wear. This innovative formula works to brighten your complexion with good for you ingredients including hyaluronic acid to help smooth and hydrate skin, and 60% water content to leave skin refreshed and hydrated. Cruelty-free, fragrance-free, gluten-free, and vegan. Nice. Now that I've read that, I feel like this would have been a pore filling primer based on how it explained what its use is, and now that I look at the ingredients, it says it has dimethicone in it, so that is pore filling. But regardless, we're going to take the seal off, and we're gonna pill our pores a little better. We're gonna fill our pores a little better. I almost said that again. Listen, dyslexic or people poo, okay? Oh, I can see all the shimmer from that luminous primer. I think it has some kind of highlight in it, like some kind of reflective ingredient. Yeah, it does. It's almost got like a gold reflect, like a shimmer of some sort. Wow, okay. Well, let's see what this does. Took just a pretty small amount. It's very wet. It's running very quickly. It smells good. Well, kind of. It did smell good for a second. Then it kind of smelled like, well, no, now it smells good again. It's questionable. I definitely do smell the coconut, but I also smell something else, and I can't tell what it is. What I like about that scent is it's not overpowering, so I can deal with that. That's a nice coconut scent. I'm not choking on it. Now, I don't really see that added too much more luminosity. Honestly, it'd be kind of hard to compete with the luminosity that this e.l.f. primer added, but the serum gave me the plumpness to my skin, and then the e.l.f. primer gave me that reflective glow. So I think this has more of the benefits of the pore filling part and the hydrating part. So pretty much, it seems like it's these two combined without the reflective material in it, whatever that ingredient is. I do feel like I'm gonna have to give the coconut primer a chance by itself without the other two primers to really know what it's like, because I think that was one too many primers. But moving on from my own personal failures as a human being and a makeup artist, let's move on to the foundation, my favorite part. Well, for now. This is the Wet n Wild PhotoFocus Dewy Foundation. Now, typically for foundation, I would go in with my Tati Beauty Blendiful or just my Beauty Blender all over the face, but for the sake of the review of the foundation, we are going to use a brush on one side and a sponge on the other. As for brushes, we're gonna use the It Cosmetics 4 Ulta brushes. This is the Star Foundation brush. It's really cute and I really like it. And for the sponge side, we're gonna use the e.l.f. Total Face Sponge. I have now wet my sponge and I spilled the water, so I also wet the entire rest of my body and my leg. So now it's time to apply the foundation. Let me tell you a little bit about it first. Also got this from Ulta. It was $6.49, and I got mine in the shade Nude Ivory. Apparently there are 14 shades. In my own personal opinion, that's really not that great at all. I don't know why I assumed there would be more. It looks like the deepest it goes is caramel, which doesn't really seem that deep. That's kind of a bummer. I feel like that could greatly be improved on. Is it just because it's the new one? Let me see how many shades the old one comes in. And this is also just what Ulta carries, so not sure. Wet n Wild foundation. Okay, yeah, so the standard foundation, the regular Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation, has 20 options. That one does get a fair amount deeper. I mean, it's 6 more shades. That's an improvement. It's still not the best it could be. It probably never will be the best it could be, but it's a little bit better. Now I just realized that the old shade that I had was bronze beige, and this is my new shade, Nude Ivory. That's a big difference. I don't know that I'm actually gonna be that light. I feel like maybe I'm right in between those, but we're gonna go in with this one anyway. You know how shade matching goes over here. We get it wrong and then we go in with some bronzer and fix it. Now on Ulta's website, the description for this foundation says the newest innovation to the cult favorite Wet n Wild Photo Focus franchise Dewy foundation. A weightless, super nourishing foundation that delivers natural all-day wear. Silky and creamy, coverage is easily buildable from medium to full, and it easily transitions from day to night wear. Ideal for normal to dry skin types, this nourishing formula blends seamlessly, blurs imperfections, and helps minimize the appearance of pores for a perfectly smooth, dewy finish. Cruelty-free, gluten-free, talc-free, and vegan. How can it easily transition from day to night wear? Like, does it dim? You know what I mean? Like, why? Oh well. Anyway, this is a shake well before use foundation, so we are gonna shake it. Okay, I feel like we are shaken, not stirred. And we do have our paddle as per usual for Wet n Wild foundation. And I'm just gonna start with the right side of my face so I can use the brush. I think that's gonna be okay on shade. Man, could you imagine how dark that other one's gonna be whenever I go to use it? We'll call that my summer shade. We'll pretend like I actually get a tan in summer. You know, it's funny, I actually used to tan in summer until I realized what the sun does to your skin. Now I wear so much SPF, it's like I fear the sun, I'm like a vampire. Give me ghostliness. Oh wait, do you think this is enough foundation? I might have gone overboard. Let's find out. I shouldn't have been talking while applying. It is a very wet formula thus far. I mean, it is a liquid foundation. That looks really, really light on camera. I mean, it is really light, even in person. It's not that light, though. I don't know why the camera always makes it seem so much lighter than what it really is. Well, yes, I do. It's because the light reflects off of it and makes it look brighter. I do often wonder what skin tone I actually have underneath all of my redness, because there's really no way to tell what my skin tone really is until I put foundation on top of it. And really, that doesn't help you figure out my skin tone. That just helps you figure out what foundation shade I'm wearing. Okay, so right now, I feel like we're about to a happy medium. And it is building up very nicely. It does have a very nice, luminous, glowy finish. Light is definitely reflecting off of it. I can see reflection on my cheeks from the lights in front of me. My forehead has a little bit of glow. It doesn't look like it's filling into any fine lines or anything. It's not sticking to any dry patches or becoming patchy at all. So far, so good. It looks nice so far. I need more coverage than this though. I need a new face. That's my goal here with this, is a new face. So we're gonna get there. You know, I never thought about this before, but I actually really, really like the idea that this has a paddle. I know it's not sanitary if you actually use it to touch your skin with it, but if it's your own personal foundation, it's really not a big deal. But I like the idea of the paddle because you can actually use that to fill your pores. You can run it across your face and smooth it into your pores before you even go in and blend it out, which is kind of perfect if you actually use it like that. So here we go with our second application on my cheek. That definitely looks like full coverage now, no doubt. How did I get foundation on my shoulder? Where did that even come from? I've been doing so good too. Fine, whatever. Now this formula is so wet at first that a brush does leave streaks starting out. Typically with foundations that are wet like that, usually once you blend them a little bit and you kind of get them in contact with air and they start drying, they start getting to where they don't have the streaks anymore as you continue blending. Just they kind of start that way. That comes with the territory, really. You get to where you have to stipple it a little bit whenever you try to blend out more wet foundations. So of course, as I blend currently, there are some streaks, but once I go over it and use more of a stippling tapping motion, then they do blend out. They don't stay there. And coverage is looking really nice actually. We are definitely to full now, and you could say it took us 2 applications to get there. I don't know how many pumps that would have been the equivalent to. Probably like 4 or 5 if I'm guessing, which is quite a bit, but that is kind of in line with how I put on full coverage foundation. I like a new face, what can I say? Okay, looks like we're good and ghostly on the brush side. Now it's time to go in with the sponge on the left side. And we're gonna just do the same thing. Use the paddle, build it up everywhere. I know one thing's for sure, I could definitely do with going a shade down, maybe 2. 2 might be a little much. Ugh, I wish it would stop showing me as light as that shows me. You'll see, once I set it with powder, you'll see what I actually am. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. I really, really like that. It's funny, I've never actually seen a foundation reverse oxidize, but it goes on darker and then dries lighter. Okay, let's see. You know what? I think I'm gonna have to give this one to the sponge side, hands down, because that is full coverage. I am exactly to where I want to. I look so ridiculous in the monitor. I don't as much in person, but in the monitor, I can't look at myself right now. But the sponge side is much more full coverage quickly. Like usually I have to build up the sponge a little bit more, but it is exactly where I want it already and I'm happy with it. The only thing I need to do is go in with the brush on the sponge side along my beard, because of course I have to fill in that hair because sponges can't get behind my hair follicles. And I also need to go in with the brush along my hairline as well and my ear to fill all that in. But I'm gonna take the sponge over on the brush side on the surface of my face to kind of clean that up as well, because I just prefer that sponge side. Guys, this is truly beautiful. It's a gorgeous finish. It actually kind of reminds me of the Fenty hydrating foundation. It almost has kind of that same glowy finish to where it's not overly viscous. It just dries nice and full and it looks really good, except not on the monitor. I've got to stop looking. We need to move on now because we just do. So now it's time to go into the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This was also $6 and I got it from Ulta as well. I got the shade Fair Warm. I think this was actually the lightest shade, and like me getting the lightest shade is a pretty big deal because I'm not the lightest tone. But obviously, as you can see, I don't get my shades right anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Now this is available in 19 shades, which is pretty good, and it got pretty dark whenever I looked at the actual shades. Now the shades between this concealer and the original 16-hour camo concealer are not the same. These run a little deeper than what the 16-hour camo concealers are, because I was trying to find my same shade in the other one, but they were a little lighter whenever I was looking at them. Now the details on Ulta's website for this say, camouflage those pesky spots and under eye circles with the e.l.f. Cosmetics Hydrating Camo Concealer, a full coverage hydrating long wear concealer featuring a large doe foot applicator to conceal, correct, contour, and highlight for flawless skin. The highly pigmented formula is lightweight with a satin finish that won't settle into fine lines or creases. Ideal for all skin types, but great for dry skin. Sounds like it was made for me. The component's very clean. It just looks, I don't know, clean. I've actually never used even the original formula, so I'm excited to try this. I just hope it's not deeper than the foundation. Is it? I think it is. Great! Love that! That's okay. Maybe once I blend it in, you won't be able to tell anyway. And if you can, it's not like I'm gonna do anything different. It looks like this has more of a little bit of a yellow undertone, so we're just gonna pretend like I set it with banana powder and it made it a little bit deeper. Yeah, let's just tell everyone that. I'm gonna use the same sponge that I was using previously to blend this out. It applies really thick. It almost reminds me of Shape Tape when it applies. This sponge is definitely taking some getting used to. It's a lot bigger than like a beauty blender. When they say total face, they literally mean total face. That's not too far off from my skin tone. I realize it's very yellow undertoned, but at least the level of it isn't too bad, right? That is very full coverage, and I love that. I don't know that it's a dupe for Shape Tape. I've heard of it being referred to that, not the hydrating one, but the regular 16-hour camo concealer. I don't know that I feel that way about this one. I've never tried the original, I don't know. This one doesn't feel quite to that level of extreme, because I almost feel like with Shape Tape, I can see a layer of concealer over the skin under my eyes. And this one doesn't seem like it's dried like that. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my I Heart Revolution coconut powder and my Sigma Tapered Face F25 brush and just set right there under my eyes. That did start creasing really quickly. I mean, really from the time that it took me to open my powder. Now I'm gonna let my under eyes bake a bit, just like I always do, because I wanna see how this hydrating concealer does with the baking. I would assume since it's hydrating that it's gonna be able to handle it pretty well and not dry me out, but some concealers whenever I bake do dry me out since I have drier skin, so I'm curious to see how it handles it. And while that is baking, I'm gonna go ahead and use my Wet n Wild dual-ended contour stick, and I'm gonna use the contour end and go ahead and just contour my face. Now that my contour is blended out, it's time to go in with the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Satin Matte Powder Foundation. Normally, I would not use a powder foundation to set my face, but I got this and it's new and I wanted to try it, and why not double up on the coverage and maybe help my tone a little bit as well. So this was $11 from Ulta as well, and there are 19 options for this foundation as well. This is satin matte, and it also has hyaluronic acid and cannabis sativa. Now it seems like just about every product that I've used tonight, just about every product that I've used has hyaluronic acid in it, which makes me so happy. It is one of my favorite ingredients whenever it comes to being in skincare or cosmetic products, because me being the dry skin person I am, loves hydration, and hyaluronic acid is the ingredient that brings that to my face. So all these products should pair wonderfully when it comes to keeping me moist and hydrated. The description on Ulta's website says, it's time to welcome the Conceal and Define Satin Matte Powder Foundation by Makeup Revolution. The base to all great makeup looks. Open the sleek rose gold compact to reveal a velvety soft pressed powder formula, complete with application sponge and mirror. It's also the perfect travel size for on-the-go touch-ups. The customizable finish is buildable for light to medium coverage. In the areas you need that touch of extra coverage, apply one of the Conceal and Define concealers. Complete the look with a finishing spray to make it last all day. Okay, I really like the way this sounds actually, because this would be perfect to pair up with the Conceal and Define Infinite Longwear Crease Proof Concealer. Just like on any kind of trouble spots, you could use the concealer and then just go in with this everywhere and give yourself a nice, even, soft satin matte base. I love powder foundations, honestly. I feel like they don't get enough attention. Even from me. I have a ton of them that I really need to just give more attention to. I need to show them some love. Actually, fun fact, my first ever purchased foundation was the Tarte Amazonian Clay Powder Foundation. Okay, here's our component. It is actually beautiful, reflective rose gold. Hey, there I am. Hi. Hello. Wait, can you see? There's my hand. Hello. And we open her up. We do have a beautiful mirror and a little compact cushion in here. She's so cute. And it has an R pressed into the pan. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe. There you go. You can see. I am not going to be using the cushion. I am in fact going to be using my own brush, I do believe. I don't know what brush, but a brush. Here we go. This is my favorite all over the face face setting brush. This is my Moda powder brush. It was in a Boxycharm that had a Moda powder and highlight brush, but this is the powder one, obviously. It's just so wide and dense, and it's perfect for any kind of powder. Oh wow, that has a lot of kickback. That is a very loosely pressed powder. Okay, let's go in and set the face. See how much of this glow we get rid of on accident. This foundation is perfect for this combination of products on the face. It's setting everything, and it's kind of giving me a little bit of an extra layer of coverage, but it's not taking away from that healthy looking luminosity that I have. And I'm really liking that. It actually looks really nice everywhere. I still have a glow. I still have a little bit of reflect on the skin. I'm still pale AF, but that'll change when I trade foundation shades, if I trade foundation shades. Now I'm gonna use my Pacaya Beauty blush brush and add in a little bit of Essence Satin Touch Blush. This is in the shade Satin Coral. It's a really pretty shade. Now that I have the beautiful coralness built up on my face, it is now time to spray my face with some setting spray, and for that I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Natural Finish setting spray. I don't have the dewy one, or I would have used that, but I figure I have a dewy finish underneath it all, so a natural finish setting spray should help maintain that. That is very wet. My skin looks so beautiful. Ugh, I really like this foundation, or this primer, or the setting spray. I think I love this combo of all of them because I look so hydrated. It still looks like I have skin, but perfect skin. Now I'm gonna go in with the Wet n Wild You Glow Girl Loose Highlighting Powder. Ooh, that is messy. And we're gonna use oh, you know what? Let's use a fan brush. Let's just go crazy. I'm gonna use my Morphe M310 fan brush. And we're gonna see what happens when I use a loose highlighter with a fan brush. Probably terrible things, but let's find out. Oh my goodness. That was a lot of highlight very quickly. Okay, let's make sure that we blend this very thoroughly. Since it's with a fan brush, I can make sure that I keep a very good line, but still blend it. There we go. It's not just one solid line now. Whew. I feel like I am a glowing goddess, and that's all I needed to feel like. I'm happy now. I'm satisfied. Now, one very quick last thing. I'm gonna go back in with the setting spray one more time. And I'm going to take my sponge and run this over everywhere. I'm doing this very lightly. I'm not pressing hard anywhere. I really don't want to. I really just want to make sure that I push all of that moisture and all of that powder into the skin, make sure it meshes just beautifully. Now our next product is the Wet n Wild Breakup Proof Waterproof Retractable Gel Eyeliner in the shade Blackest Black. Now I got this from Ulta. I can't find it on Ulta's website now. I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know if it was just like temporary while I had it at the store. I don't really know. But I found it on Wet n Wild's website, and they show that it is $2.99 and it is a new product. I guess this is like the breakup proof line, so it's part of that. And their description says, our waterproof silky formula is lightweight, comfortable, and glides onto the lids without tugging or pulling the delicate eye area. The satin gel formula delivers up to 16 hours of long-lasting pigment-rich color in every effortlessly smooth application, smudge-proof, cry-proof, and humidity-proof. Well, I'm glad to know it's cry-proof. It's really kind of just standard Wet n Wild black packaging, and definitely a retractable gel pencil. And we're gonna put this in the waterline today, not all over the lid like it said to use it as. Very smooth, very smooth, and very black. I would hope so. It is the blackest black. Okay, gel is now applied, and that feels really good. Now it did start out very sharp, and I kind of poked myself in the waterline with it whenever I started, but that melted down pretty quick, so it really didn't hurt for very long. But be warned, it starts out kind of sharp. Now we're gonna use the Wet n Wild Breakup Proof Liquid Eyeliner. This one I did get from Ulta, and it's still available on Ulta's website. It shows it is $5.99, and the description says, Wet n Wild's Mega Last Breakup Proof Black Liquid Eyeliner has an ultimate waterproof formula that provides smudge-proof, humidity-proof, flake-proof and cry-proof wear, featuring an ultra-fine brush tip that delivers any look, from a thin line to a bold, dramatic stroke that lasts up to 16 hours. It glides on seamlessly and smoothly while delivering intense, highly concentrated pigmentation in one easy swipe. This innovative eyeliner features a tank delivery system that allows the perfect flow of pigment with every application, offering precision accuracy, ease of application, and extended wear. Long-lasting, waterproof, smudge-proof, and breakup-proof. Okay, well, we're gonna put this to the test. Now, I've tried the Wet n Wild H2O waterproof liquid eyeliner, and it's not a felt tip. I think it's a brush tip. Actually, it might be a felt tip. It's in a pot either way, and I don't remember liking that one. I don't think anyway whenever I tried it last time, so I'm hoping this one is better. I'm just gonna add a quick wing on both eyes. Okay, consider me impressed. That was one of the best lines that I've ever gotten from a liquid liner. It went over itself so well, and it didn't bunch up anywhere. It didn't start breaking apart anywhere. It didn't get that that dry gummy feeling whenever you go over a liner a few times. Wow, I really like this liner. Did I say I was gonna make a little wing? I lied. This is just a gorgeous liner. It has the accuracy of the Stila Micro Tip liner, or that's the best one I can compare it to anyway, but you can still literally, like it said, make it as thick as you want. Oh, I'm so obsessed with that. Ugh, it's so cute. Now the part that I know that won't happen. Before I move on, I just want you to see how thin this line is. I know it's messy. I plan on filling it in. That's why it's messy, because I make a messy line whenever I make a thin one. But it is so thin. It's literally right by my lash line. Oh, I love it. Okay, anyway, now I forgot to show these at the beginning because I didn't have them in sight, but the next product I'm gonna use is the Colourpop Lippy Stick. This one is in the shade Parker. The Lippy Sticks are $7, and this is, I don't know if this is new to Colourpop, but it's a new display that we got at our local Ulta for the Nude Mood and the Blush something palette, and it came with those. I also have the So Juicy Lip Gloss in the shade QT, and these are $8. Now, I have used a Lippy Sticks before, so this technically is not a first impression. These are so creamy. Okay, lip is applied, and I do strongly recommend that if you're kind of obsessive compulsive a little bit like I am, that perhaps you use a lip liner, because you're gonna sit there for like 30 minutes just going over edges trying to get them perfect. But I'm very happy with this. I think this is kind of a perfect nude for me. I mean, it's a little deeper, so I guess kind of a perfect deeper nude for me, but it's really, really pretty, and I really, really like it. Now, for the So Juicy Lip Gloss in the shade QT, and I hate getting these like gross and dirty, so I just squeeze out gloss on my lips and then move it around. Oh, that's really cute. Wow, my lips look bigger. Okay, I'll take that. Not a problem at all. Nice. Okay, well, lips are done, and I am completely satisfied with them. Now it's time for me to use this Wet n Wild retractable brow pencil. This is not new, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do my brows off camera real quick. So give me just a second, I'll be right back. Okay, I have everything done except my lashes and my lower lash line. And I believe that is everything that's new. I think, I'm pretty sure anyway. I'm sure that whenever I go back and I edit this video, I'm gonna find things that I didn't actually finish, but for now, I think that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my top lashes with my L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise Mascara. And then once I do that, I'm gonna go off camera and completely finish my lower lash line. Now that my brows are done, I need to do my top lashes, and I'm gonna use my L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise Mascara. Okay, top lash mascara is applied. Now that I'm feeling almost completely beautiful, the last thing I need to do is finish off my lower lash line. So I'm gonna go ahead and go off camera so I can figure out what I'm gonna do. And once I finish it off, I will be right back with my final thoughts on mainly the foundation, but also everything else that was new that we checked out today, because I don't know if I approve of everything. So I'll see you in just a second. Lower lash line is now complete, and it is time to finish the lower lashes with the Lower Lash Mascara, which is the same mascara. I just gotta put it on now. Lower Lash Mascara is now applied, so lower lashes are now complete, and we are to the final countdown. Judgment Day, the last hour, the end all, be all. And I think majority of the stuff that we got was pretty good. First of all, the Wet n Wild Primer Serum. This, in my opinion, was subtle, but it added a nice glow. I think it was worth what I paid for it. I don't think it's very blurring and pore filling like it says, but I do think it's very hydrating, and I think it's a good addition to a skincare routine. And I do think it can help before applying a foundation to make it go on smoother and be a little more hydrating in the process. The Luminous Putty Primer. It's cool that it's kind of a 2-in-1 now. It's the Poreless Putty Primer, but with hydration and luminosity. I do prefer this one over the Poreless Putty Primer, but I was making the Poreless Putty Primer pretty much into this with additional products anyway, but it's nice to have this one now. Better late than never, I suppose. So yes, on this, approve this as well. The Water Drop Primer in Coconut, I really can't say. I don't know for sure. I'm gonna try this again by itself without another primer so that I can really give it a chance to work, because by the time I put this on, I think I had too many other primers that I really couldn't tell what this did, if it did anything. All it did was really add a coconut fragrance to my face. So I'm not sure on this. I don't want to recommend it because I don't know. Now, the Big Mama, or Papa, or the Big It, the big thing. The Wet n Wild Dewy Foundation. It gets really creasy. It does. I don't remember the original Wet n Wild foundation doing that. It has been a very long time since I've used the original Wet n Wild foundation, so I can't judge that too much. It does keep me hydrated. It looks hydrating. It looks dewy. So currently, at this moment in time, for the Wet n Wild Dewy foundation, I'll give it a recommend if you're dry with no creasing. That's where I'm stuck at right now because of the fact that it's creasing so heavily. However, if you don't have major creasing or if you don't have more mature skin, then this might be perfect for you. I am going to try this again, using it more so in the way that I typically use foundation and with products that I typically do use, just so I can be more comfortable with it. I really should have done that in the first place for it to be a foundation review rather than almost a full face of first impressions. So I'm not gonna judge it really too hard. I'll let you know down in the description if I use it again, kind of what my updated thoughts are, if they have changed. If I don't leave anything, then I haven't used it again, or they haven't yet, and maybe recommend it if you don't have super intense creasing. Then the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Powder Foundation, I'm not sure, you know? It did a really good job, I thought, at setting the rest of my face, but I don't know if it was this foundation that's causing my forehead to crease or if it's the foundation that's causing my forehead to crease. And I hate that I don't know if it was this or this that's causing my problem right now. I'm gonna use this in the way that they recommend. I'm not going to blame this too much because it doesn't say that you can use it to set foundation, liquid foundation. It says to use it as a foundation, and I didn't use it like that. I am going to use it like that to give it the real test because I wanna know if this will compare to the other powder foundations that I have. I do love the fact that this is kind of geared more toward a light everyday ease of use coverage sort of thing, you know, putting concealer down and then going everywhere else with this foundation just to kind of give you a nice clean even slate. And I'm going to use it like that because I'm excited to use it like that. That's why I got powder foundations in the first place. So actually, you know what? For now, for the Wet n Wild Dewy Foundation and for the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Foundation, let's just leave that null and void right now. Because parts of this are beautiful on my skin. I love the way my cheeks look. Just don't like that forehead creasing, as I've already said 10 million times. I'm sorry, I keep repeating myself. And also, I didn't use this how it was suggested to be used. I used it in a way that I use some other powder foundations that are a lot more full coverage, in all honesty. We're just gonna call this video for these duds for now. I will keep you updated on these and how they work for the official applications later. Yes, okay. Moving on. The e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5 stars, recommend all the way. I am so happy that I tried this. I really want the other one now too. Well, I would probably regret buying the other one because it's not hydrating, but this is really, really nice coverage and it looks really good on my under eyes. It didn't dry me out. I was able to bake and it's staying there and it held up to me, blending out all 3 of those eyeshadows underneath. So I'm really satisfied with this. I love this one. Plus, for the price, it's not $27 like Shape Tape. I wouldn't say it's a dupe for Shape Tape. It doesn't feel like Shape Tape. It doesn't end up like Shape Tape, but it's close to Shape Tape. It's getting there. Next, this Wet n Wild Breakup Proof Liquid Eyeliner. Oh my gosh, I love this thing. This is really, really good. I don't know that I have a liquid liner quite like this. This is seriously gonna have me going through my eyeliners, finding the ones that skip over eyeshadow and throwing them away, because this didn't, period, point blank at all. Now, I don't know how it lasts. I don't know if that's gonna be like the first few applications and then it's gonna destroy it after that and it's gonna skip and build up and be gross, but this was perfect. I love this thing a lot. Now, the gel eyeliner, it's okay. I wouldn't recommend it specifically. It's not like it was anything special. Honestly, it kept coming off and I had to keep reapplying it, but that's kind of the case with every gel liner I end up getting and using. I can't find a gel liner that stays in my waterline. Also, this didn't recommend to use it in your waterline. It recommended to use it on your lid. So I don't know how it's gonna work as a lid liner. Probably great, honestly. But for a waterline liner, nah, not so much, nothing special. Then the Colourpop Lippy Stick and So Juicy Plumping Gloss. These are a great combo. This lippy stick is a beautiful formula. I love how these lippy sticks look. Plus, adding a gloss on top, it's pretty much perfect. I'm always gonna recommend just about everything from Colourpop except the HelloFresh Tinted Moisturizer. If you haven't seen that review, I will link it right here so you can check it out if you wanna. It was not the greatest experience, but you can see for yourself if you wanna watch it. But with these products, that is everything. That's everything that I got from Ulta, new to try to show you guys. Well, at least for that video. So what did you guys think? Did you cringe whenever I was using the Makeup Revolution foundation on top of the Wet n Wild foundation? Did you already know better than me that it was just gonna fail? Or did you know that the Wet n Wild foundation was creasy anyway? Or is it not creasy and I'm dumb? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm always game to have a conversation with you guys because I love you. If you did have fun and you enjoyed this video, it'd be really, really cool if you gave me a thumbs up. If you wanted to, you know, no pressure or whatever. Just if you feel like it and if you're not mean. It does actually help me, and it actually tells other people that you liked my video, so they're like, oh, Brenda liked it, so I'm probably gonna like it too, so let me watch. So you see how that could help me in the long run, like officially. But like I said, just if you want to, and if you're like not mean or whatever. And also, if you like this look and you want to see more looks like them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. My username is the same for everything. It's just ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of this video, if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, please at least gain this. And that is to always remember and never forget that you are absolutely beautiful. And I love you guys. Bye.